All right, Rob, let's go here with the NBA. Jeanie Buss, we'll get Mark Medina on, who wrote the story, but Jeanie Buss is saying that, or Kurt Heelan wrote the story. I'm sorry, not Mark Medina. But actually, I stand corrected.
No, Mark Medina,
Jeanie
right?
Buss, in an interview with our man Mark Medina, Fox Sports Radio NBA analyst, did say that LeBron James's jersey will be retired as a Laker when he's done playing. And she gives a funny quote, Rob. I don't think she meant it to be funny, but here's what she says. The standard for having your jersey retired as a Laker is when a player is inducted into the Hall of Fame. I have absolutely no doubt that LeBron will make it into the Basketball Hall of Fame. I hope she was laughing when she said that. She probably was. But, Rob, to me, no-brainer, but you got beef.
No, I do have beef.
How?
Because I just think, when I think of LeBron James and Chris, and I get it, he won in Miami. He won. It's like this.
They're the third team you would
think
of,
right?
Sure.
They're the
for
third
sure.
team. Not. He was with the when he went to Miami and how big of a deal that was. They went to 4 straight NBA Finals. They won 2.
Right.
He went to Cleveland, won a championship the city hadn't seen in 50 years. Those are way more significant. Not taking anything away from it, and it's almost like baseball. In baseball, you have to pick a team. Dave Winfield played for the Yankees, but he went in as a San Diego Padre. That's where.
Well, that's
do you know what I mean? Right, like you go in as one.
He should quickly on
Would
that.
you say that?
Well, okay, but that's a different topic.
Right, I'm just saying.
But let me ask you this, because I think this would be an interesting discussion. What team should he go in as? To me, it's Cleveland. Even though he didn't win, his first ring until he got to Miami.
100% Cleveland.
Okay, you're
100% because he was drafted there. He did something that the city hadn't seen since Jim Brown.
Right.
Like, that's earth-breaking. And I'm not
Agreed.
trying to take anything away from Miami or say it was a total failure because they only won 2 championships. But his impact in Cleveland, to me, was bigger.
Totally agree.
Being from there, and if you had to pick, they don't do the same thing, but if you have to pick one town or one city, it would be Cleveland. I think would
and
be
I think
him
he would pick that.
Yeah, and the LA thing, they could do whatever they want. Pau Gasol played a few years there. I get it. He won 2 championships. When I think of great Lakers, I'm sorry, Pau Gasol is not a name that comes to mind, Chris. It's not.
They're different from most franchises in that they've got so many great players. I mean, Rob, most, not all, not even, maybe half, but so many of the greatest players play for the Lakers. Wilt, LeBron, Kobe, Shaq, Kareem, Matt, that is, all of those dudes are arguably in the top 10. So I get Pau Gasol. You just look like, what? But I do think they have to be, I would say, fair. He did help them win 2 championships. He is a great player. He is a Hall of Famer. Has he been inducted? He hadn't been inducted yet. I know that, but
why not?
He will be a Hall of Famer. No, he is. He is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm sorry. He is a Hall of Famer.
So I was wondering
Dale
about
Goodrich
that.
is on there. Is a retired, who was very good as well in the Hall of Famer. James Worthy. So you do have the one ultra, elite level, and then you've got just the great levels of players that would be, retired by any team. LeBron's in that. I mean, he delivered them a championship. They were irrelevant when he got there as far as, relatively speaking, judging from their history. And so I'm good with it.
Yeah, it just doesn't – I understand the gesture. He's an all-time great. You don't want to disrespect him. But if I'm looking at it, I would think – and it's weird, Chris, should you be in 3 Hall of Fames like the Wizards? Michael Jordan's not in the Wizards Hall of Fame, and he shouldn't be.
No,
and I get it.
But he didn't do what LeBron did.
But he still won. But he's an all-time great. He's in the Hall of Fame. He wore that jersey for 2 years.
You make an interesting point.
You see what I'm saying, Chris?
Yeah.
Like how he was a wizard. He was an all-time great. How is Michael Jordan not honored?
Well, he is retired in Miami.
Well, I know, and that's the crazy thing, because Pat Riley had so much respect for him.
You make an interesting point, Rob, in that because I can sit here and say LeBron got the Lakers a ring. So And obviously he played well, put up huge numbers, was all NBA, blah, blah, blah. But I think if he didn't get them a ring, I'm not so sure they still wouldn't retire his number.
They still would. No, I'm with you.
You know,
because she already
because what you
said
said, yeah.
her criteria about if you're getting in the Hall of Fame. But my point is,
and he's been there more than 2 years, so
right.
you got to give him that.
But Michael's an all-time great. If you're the Wizards, how do you not want to celebrate that guy wore your jersey, Chris, for a couple years? You could say whatever you want.
It would actually be beneficial for them.
For them to say he – and you know, a lot of kids who probably grew up or whatever didn't even know he played for the Wizards.
I wonder if he would even want his jersey retired.
Probably not.
Right. Especially the way it ended. Remember the way it ended?
It wasn't good.
No.
It wasn't good. And you remember he even had the issues with the other players. You remember it wasn't a good.
Players,
and then they fired him.
Yep.
I remember the video of him driving off.
That was bad.
After getting fired from there.
Yeah, it wasn't a good look. So you're right. He probably wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised now. Maybe it would have leaked. But you wonder, did they even go to him at some point and say, hey, we'd love to retire your jersey?
He probably said, nah, I don't want that.
Don't even think about it.
Like, he's a Bull, Chicago Bulls. That's where he won. That uniform's iconic. Yep. And LeBron, I get it. He's been on 3 different teams, and he's won everywhere. But and he's an all-time great. I'm not going to cry over it. But if you ask me, I would say no. If I'm LeBron, it should be about Cleveland. That's that big mark, coming back from 3-1, giving them their first championship in 50 years, Chris. And I'm not talking about the franchise, the city.
No, that's his greatest achievement.
That's his greatest.
There's no doubt about it.
And the way he left and had to come back and then win?
Yeah, no doubt. One thing I will say, because he's about to go back, isn't he going back to number 23?
Right.
He shouldn't have both numbers, the 23 and the 6, like Kobe has retired with the Lakers. I mean, look, if they were to win a championship with him wearing number 23, I guess you could argue it. But I don't think he deserves 2.
Yeah.
It's
Kobe played there 20 years.
Right. Kobe, to many people, to this generation, Rob, to you and I, we would say LeBron or Magic is the face of the Lakers all time. But a lot of younger people would say Kobe, and understandably so.
And the other day we talked about something. I don't know what it is. You don't know how many anti-Kobe. Don't you disrespect Kobe? I got all that on social media. I was so mad because I was saying LeBron. You were saying? Because I was saying LeBron was number 2 and how
better, right?
Yeah, and then you know what was crazy? Some other guy on social media put out a thing. You remember we were talking about Barkley and all the other analysts and people. You know what I mean? Like who are.
Dissing LeBron,
but they made it like,
but
the guy put out something. Rob pushes back on Barkley about LeBron, and that conversation, Chris, was not about Charles Barkley.
Right. No,
it was about
we were talking about all the greats who, for some reason, leave LeBron off their starting 5.
But he linked it to Barkley, and then that picture of me and Barkley,
trying to start something.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not.
Just watch out for Barkley. I hear he's here and looking for you.
Oh, is he?